Hey guys, welcome back to my channel NMC Productions. My name is Nigel and today we're going to be getting into the new Charli XCX project, Brat. This is an album that I've been very much looking forward to for quite some time, pretty much ever since her last record, Crash, which I very much enjoyed and was one of my favourite albums from 2022. I also enjoyed her album during lockdown, How I'm Feeling Now, which was a very good hyper pop sounding album. And so for this album, I'm very much looking forward to what Charli can produce. I think the singles so far, as you can see, 360, Club Classics, back to back, have been very strong. And I think the rollout, especially, I think her new contract with things at Atlantic Records, they've really put in the money to really pull out a good rollout. And I think especially with the cover causing controversy when it was first released, people weren't too receptive of it, but now it seems like it's now become kind of an iconic cover, you know, just very minimalist, just the word Brat. And so I think, you know, this is an album that potentially could be really good, really defining for Charli, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we'll get from this album. So let's get into the first track, 360. By the way, I have heard all the singles so far, which I very much enjoyed. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so far again, as a song, it's a very good song. So, you know, I feel like no one's really doing what Charli does, and I think no one can really do it. It's just her sound and how she delivers it. It's in her way. So yeah, this is probably, I would say, my second favorite um single out of all of them. I would say probably Club Classics is my favorite one, but this is still a great track. It's just a super catchy song. So that was 360. Again, solid start, great track. You know, it's pretty much been everywhere on TikTok. Well, my TikTok for sure. And you know, going into the next song, Club Classics, as I say, which was my favorite of the singles. And yeah, let's get into it. When I go to the club, I wanna hear this club classics. Club classics. I love the production on this song. I wanna hear this club classics. Club classics. Club classics. When I go to the club, I wanna hear this club classics. Play the track fast, not slow. Pull it back, yes, let's go. Synth jabs there. Like my kind of flow. Yeah, I wanna be blinded by the lights, lights, lights. I love this part. See, I love that section of the song, especially like the production. Don't know what it's called, the little what kind of noise, but I just think it sounds so good. And this is what I mean where I say that no one really sounds like Charli. Like the production that she puts in is just not like your usual pop, you know. I just think she's very forward thinking. She knows how to make a catchy song and a good song that's kind of technical sounding. So yeah, let's continue with it. And I feel like this song, especially in clubs, in raves, this song would go off, especially like seeing Charli's boiler room set a few weeks ago. You could see that, you know, this song and quite a few others. I think Spring Breakers is another song that that it hasn't been released yet, but it's definitely in the boiler room went off, and I was kind of wishing the Boiler Room was in London, so then I could go, but sadly it was in I think it was in New York, so it's a bit too far. But for sure that Boiler Room set was a very good set, and I can't wait for even for the tour. Like, definitely would like to go to that tour. And yeah, I kind of wish it wasn't an arena one. Kind of think it should have just been like a smaller venue, because I feel like this type of music, kind of with the club rave sound that seems to be she's going for, would sound better. But you never know. She's a good performer. I saw her back in 2022 for the Crash tour, so, and it was a very good show. So I have faith that even this tour will be potentially even better. So yeah, that was Club Classics, and so let's get into the next track. Sympathy is a Knife. I love the production on this. This gives me self-titled Charli vibes, those jab synths. Yeah, so far I'm loving the track. I think the lyrics are very raw. You can really tell that it's kind of pouring her heart out pretty much. And I love Charli's use of the auto-tune in a way to really show and convey her emotions even more. I like that she's not afraid to use that, and pretty much throughout her whole career she's always been able to use auto-tune to help convey her emotions, especially in songs like even Party For You and How I'm Feeling Now. I think that's where she uses auto-tune really, really well. So again, here, I think, you know, she's done it really well. Let's continue. It reminds me of Gone. The little glitches and that. I'll say that was a very strong track again. You know, she's 3 for 3 so far. So let's get into the next track. I Might Say Something Stupid. A lot more somber sounding tracks so far. Talk to myself in the mirror, where these clothes are I don't feel like nothing special. It's a short track. I snag my tights out on the lawn chair. So that was, I think, the 4th track. I Might Say Something Stupid. I think this track, it's a good track to be fair. I feel like in a way she seems more open about how she doesn't feel like she's fitting in, and I don't know, kind of sounds like imposter syndrome in a way. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. And I do wish this was kind of, I felt like it should have been like a 5-minute track. I feel like just a 5-minute of her just pouring out, I think could have worked, but we'll see with how the rest of the album, see with the sequencing. Next track, Talk Talk. Putting holes in your head. We've been talking for months. It's a lot more upbeat compared to the last track. A lot more upbeat, disco-y type sound. I wonder if it's gonna come back again for like a big finish. It was produced by Hudson Mohawk, who I think is on quite a few songs on this record. I know A.G. Cook is on it as well. Danielle Hall is also quite a lot on this record as well. And that was Talk Talk, again another great track. I think again in a rave type setting, I think this song would be perfect for. I think, you know, it was just, you know, a cool kind of dance track really from Charli. So let's get into the next track, Von Dutch, which was another one of the singles that I did forget to mention that it was one of them. Again, I do really enjoy this track as well. Kind of, you know, high octane type sounding song, fast car type, which has kind of been like what Charli's done in her career, like with Vroom Vroom. However, she did release a remix with Addison Rae, and I kind of do prefer the remix to this song, even though I like both of them. But I feel like the production of the remix is just a bit better, and kind of I just prefer that. So let's get into Von Dutch. I feel like this song would be perfect for, you know, in like movies where there's like that fast car scene, you know, like where there's a high speed chase, kind of like a Fast and Furious type scene where, you know, play Von Dutch in the back. I feel like it perfectly epitomizes that scenario. And also another thing is, I remembered when Von Dutch first came out, and you seeing on Twitter people saying like it kind of flopped, this, that. But then as, you know, the weeks went by, it was all over TikTok. Everyone was using it, you know, it really did grow in popularity in the song. And again, it's become probably one of the iconic Charli songs from this project. So, you know, sometimes you just don't have to be too quick and hard onto these songs too quickly. You know, give it time to, you know, marinate and kind of come into its own. Yeah. That I'm Your Number One was stuck in my head for weeks. Now going into the next track, Everything Is Romantic. Kind of sounds grand, medieval type sounding. It's like The Last Dinner Party-ish.
Bad tattoos on leather tan skin, Jesus Christ on a plastic sign.
Ooh.
Fall in love again and again, riding roads through manual drive.
I feel like there's a switch coming.
Bad tattoos on leather tan skin, Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. Early nights and white sheets with lace curtains. Capri in the distance.
Production on this is so good though.
Bad tattoos on leather tan skin, Jesus Christ on a plastic sign. Fall in love again and again, winding roads through manual drive. Bad tattoos on leather tan skin, Jesus Christ on a plastic.
I think this is the song that she performed at the Primavera Festival in Barcelona last weekend, I think, because I saw a couple of videos on it and it sounded pretty good. Some people said it was like a Brazilian funk, but I'll have to be able to tell once we've heard the full song. But I was kind of disappointed because she didn't put her performance on stream for Amazon, because I stayed up for like 1:30 just to see it, then to find out that it wasn't going to be live streamed. So at least, you know, we've got the album now, so we can listen to it.
Capri in the distance, in a place that can make you change. Fall in love.
Ooh, nice change. I love it. It's like a hyper poppy type song. I feel like a drop's coming. little sound of a rave at the end. And that was Everything Is Romantic. To be fair, I think that was my favourite song so far on the album. I kind of liked how it started so medieval-ish sounding, then switched to like a Brazilian funk type, but like kind of a faster type of tempo compared to what I've usually heard in Brazilian funk. And then how it switched into like a big techno-y type sound, like that dancey type, like rave type sound, and like how there was like little different sounds coming in, little jabs and all sorts coming through. And that's what I like about artists like Charli. It's like I feel like their music is kind of more stimulating, I think, for my mind in a way, because it kind of keeps you on your toes. It's not so stagnant the same. Like she could have just kept it the Brazilian funk for the whole song, even though that still would have been sounding alright. But the way she switches it has like different what's it called? Like sounds throughout the song. So we'll check who produced this again. Yeah, A.G. Cook, of course, and even El Guincho. I think El Guincho produced as a frequent producer with Rosalia on her albums as well, which is another artist that I like. And again with her, and then with Charli, others like I know they're beefing, but Rena, etc. Caroline Polachek. I feel like the pop that they make is so good and more, I guess, stimulating, and it doesn't. You don't get bored from it, and like there's always a change, and like they really do take, their vision and the production seriously compared to the usual formulaic pop. And so I do like Charli's take on the Brazilian funk and how what the song started with and what it ended with was complete polar opposites, but it works perfectly. And we've seen quite a few artists have a take on Brazilian funk, even Caroline Polachek on Dang, which again was an amazing song. So yeah, I think so far this is my favourite. So let's get into the next track, Rewind.
Sometimes I just wanna rewind.
Coming straight in.
Sometimes I just wanna rewind. In time to when I wasn't insecure, to when I didn't overanalyze my face shape. Nowadays I only eat.
You could kind of see like the not influence, kind of similarities from Pop 2 and Charli in this song. And I feel like this album so far has been just an evolution of probably like all her albums, and to come to this album, Brat, like you can just tell by the sound, like the way it comes in, doom doom doom. Again, it reminds me of Gone Again, of Charli.
About whether I think I deserve commercial success. It's running through my mind. Sometimes I really think it would be cool to rewind.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like she does deserve the commercial success. I feel like Charli, even though she has a solid fan base and like she does get quite a bit of streams, she's not like underground, but I do feel like her music deserves to be, where the numbers deserve to be, where the real top artists are. I'll be honest, like I feel like because it's so forward thinking, and I feel like her she's always so consistent with her albums. It deserves way more popularity and love than what it gets. And so I am happy though that probably for the last few singles they are getting a bit more love, like 360 is doing pretty well. So but I do feel like, it should, for the quality of music that she puts out, it deserves, the numbers maybe an Ariana gets, the Taylors get, because personally I feel like Charli makes much better music, especially more than Taylor. So yeah, not a hater, please don't come for me, but just saying. Nice little switch up there. Gives me Yeezus-ish type vibes then. And those little synths are so Charli sounding. It's like the signature sound.
I just wanna rewind, wanna turn back time to a different times. I just wanna rewind, I just wanna rewind.
Like an evolved version of 1999.
Let's rewind. Yeah, let's rewind.
Yeah, so that was Rewind. Again, very great track. I think she's 8 for 8 so far, you know. I feel like she hasn't really put a foot wrong so far this album. I think she's delivering to all my expectations, and you know, I came into this album so far with very high expectations due to the consistent quality of her previous albums. And so let's continue on to track 9, So I, which I think she may have performed at an award show. I think it was like a Billboard Women's show a few months ago. I think this is the song that was dedicated to Sophie, who was like a big artist in the PC music scene. I think she kind of created like PC music, and she was like one of the big like mentor with Charli, and produced quite a few Charli songs. I think she was on Vroom Vroom maybe. I think she produced, and quite a lot of tracks. They worked together a lot. So I remember an interview where Charli was talking about how much Sophie meant to her on the Zane Lowe interview. So yeah, let's get into it.
Always on my mind, every day, every night. Your star burns so bright. Why did I push you away? I was scared sometimes. You had a power like a lightning strike. Always on my mind, every day, every night. Your star burns so bright. Why did I push you away? I was scared sometimes.
This part reminds me of Kanye. Like 808's a Heartbreak. That was So I think that was a beautiful track, to be honest. You can really see Charli pouring emotions, talking about how Sophie was, you know, an important mentor in her life, how Sophie pushed her, you know, with her music, and you know, helped her, you know, kind of create her sound. And yeah, I think it's a great tribute to her, you know, and also I feel like this song will help, you know, Sophie's memory, I guess, live on further, and kind of put her story, I guess, towards more of the masses, the mainstream masses. And so yeah, I think that was a great track. Even like the last bit where kind of the distorted sound was kind of reminded me of Kanye on 808's and Heartbreak.
Sometimes I think I might hate you. Maybe you just wanna be me. You always say let's go out, so we go eat at a restaurant. Sometimes
I wonder what sound that is, that kind of distorted, kind of split aside.
They say we've got the same hair. We talk about making music, but I don't know if it's honest. It's so confusing sometimes.
Was this the song that they thought was about Lord? Let me know in the comments if that was the song that I thought about Lord. I saw Lord post it on a story though, so it might be about someone else maybe. Again, on some super loud speakers, this will sound so good. And that was Girl So Confusing. I guess this track's kind of about some kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's a friendship or something, or some kind of back and forth beef kind of with another person in a way, and how like, well, I wouldn't say beef, but kind of like, I don't know, friction between her and whoever it is, like how she said that, how they'll sit at a restaurant and it'll be awkward, or saying how like sometimes they might hate her but she won't hate them. So it kind of seems like, I don't know, she's trying to kind of express how there's kind of a little back and forth, and it's not completely perfect in its friendship. But overall, again, I think it was a great track. Let's get into the next one. Apple. Bit 80s kind of sounding. I think the track was okay. I think it was cool. Nothing too crazy happened. I feel like maybe it wasn't as strong as the previous tracks that we've had, but still, I think it's been quite a solid track. Let's get into the next track, Back to Back, which was one of the singles that had released, which I've already heard. And again, I think this was a cool track. Probably, maybe my least favorite out of all the singles that I've dropped, but I still think it is still a very strong song. I love this part of the song. Again, I think, probably as what this album's been made for, in a dance setting, a rave setting, and this song's perfect, the little back section could just be there, just vibing out. Again, beautiful switch. I like how, you have the repetitiveness of the back, and how she says she keeps running back to this person kind of just helps reinforce, kind of almost the cycle that she's seems to be consistently being, running back to this person in this relationship. And again, I think, this song, the production of it, again, it just feels like a culmination of all of Charli's previous albums into to make this song. Let's get into the next track, Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. and she's out there in a sheer white dress, wearing last night's makeup, all coquettish in the pictures with the flash on. Worships Lana Del Rey in her AirPods. Yeah, she's in her mid-20s. This one's for all my break your boyfriend's heart girls, for all my terrorists.
Productions amazing. Yeah, again, this song kind of fits that, that high octane type sound, that kind of dance sound. And so, seems like she's describing, the Mean Girls, and I guess how, in a way, sometimes, Charli kind of embraces being, kind of being this kind of mean girlish type. Ooh. Little piano section. Was not expecting this song to go this way, but I ain't mad at it. Is it gonna drop? Ooh. Imagine an extended mix with how it sounded at the very end there. That was a pretty good track, to be fair. I feel like I can see that becoming an anthem probably for the girls, the Mean Girls maybe. I can see that even popping off on TikTok, really, that song. I think it has the song has a recipe for that. Even the little piano section I didn't expect. Kind of reminds me of on Sawoko, on the Rosalia song, how it just had like that random like jazz piano section. And so it's kind of like with this, how it was just a bit random, but it works. And that's, again, Charli, the music always keeps you on your toes. Again, produced by A.G. Cook, Hudson Mohawk, feel like, the production that they always put in and the vision that they always create with Charli It's always, you know, keeps you on your toes, never stagnant. Again, that was a very, very strong track. And we have 2 more tracks left. And so the next track is I Think About It All the Time.
I think about it all the time, that I might run out of time. But I finally met my baby, and a baby might be mine. Cause maybe one day I might, if I don't run out of time. Would it make me miss all my freedom? Think about it all the time.
Yeah, is, you know, kind of introspective track again, even though lyrics aren't like super like lyrical miracle as maybe some people want, but you know, just even like the lyrics kind of, she still paints a picture of like how, in a way, she wants a kid, and how, because she's fiance with George from the 1975, and so how she says she thinks she might run out of time, because I guess because she has that, you know, that party kind of maybe lifestyle. And how I remember she said that she used to like do parties and stuff when she was really young and perform there. And so I guess maybe she's thinking, like when she's saying how she might lose her freedom because maybe in motherhood there'll be basically more pressing issues, i.e. the child, and so, you know, you'll have to put the child first. So I guess she's kind of worrying if she'll have like what's it called, can still live her life similar maybe to what it was before. But I guess it's kind of sad how it's been, how it's, she says how she thinks, will she run out of time, because it shouldn't feel that way. But I guess because, you know, they'll end up thinking that, you know, a few years, even though she still has plenty of time to be a mother. But I guess it's just timing of everything, really.
We had a conversation on the way home. Should I start my birth control? Cause my career feels so small in the existential scheme of it all.
And that was I Think About It All the Time. Again, I think it was a great track. I think, you know, that last line, how she kind of says how she thinks her career feels small in the existential scheme of it all. I feel like that's a great line in a way, kind of saying how, like, in a way, even though her career's been so good, but still it's kind of in the meaning of life. Life kind of is more important, you know, your family, your friends. And I guess how she's talking about how she wants to have a baby. I guess she's maybe thinking of other parts of her life that are important and will be more important to her than her career. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting track, to be honest, and how, you know, to say a line like that, and because especially with all the success that that she's had, and then for it to still be kind of feel small in terms of life is interesting, because it's kind of like how, you know, you separate, you know, like work-life balance, and like how you try and prioritize life in a way. Let's get into the next track. 365. Okay, so the same beat as 360. So I wonder how this is going to be.
Okay. Here we go. When I'm in the club, yeah, I'm. When I'm at the house, yeah, I'm. 365 party girl. Should we do a little key? Should we have a little wine? When we go real wild, when I'm. Meet me in the bathroom if you're. 365 party girl.
It's interesting how the juxtaposition from the previous track, how it's saying how she wants to have a kid, and then now it's like, should we do a little key? And then, you know, interesting kind of juxtaposition. And even like throughout it, the party lifestyle, and obviously, but I guess, you know, kind of shows how in the previous track that she's thinking of maybe a change.
Jump when it drops, when I'm down 999 is a good time. Who the fuck you
Well, the lyrics really do fit in with the whole Brat aesthetic that she's been trying to go for. This album's been so well produced.
No, I really don't stop when I'm gonna jump when it drops when I'm down 999. It's a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat.
I feel like this section here kind of sounds like when you're outside of like a club or like a rave, and then you hear the music, because it kind of was, I don't know, it's like muffled this time of the sound, because it kind of, the sound kind of sounded drowned out the beat. So yeah. That's a proper headbanger right there. So that was Brat by Charli XCX. I feel like as a whole the album was a very good album. I think, you know, this is probably our first listen. I think this album is one of my favorite albums of the year so far. I think probably the best pop album that I've heard this year. I think in terms of, you know, I feel like as a whole throughout the album, there wasn't really a song that I really disliked or thought this is really bad. I think all 15 tracks were great, being 41 minutes long as well. I feel like, you know, it didn't feel that long. It felt shorter, to be fair, but I feel like it's good, you know, when an album feels short. You don't want albums that drag on for like 25 tracks and it just ends up, you end up thinking, why are we here? But I feel like, you know, tracks like Sympathy is a Knife, I think that one's a very good track. Everything is Romantic, really do love that. Again, the singles, Club Classics, 360, and then even, you know, you had like, it had a bit of everything really. You know, you had your high octane kind of fast dance ravey type tracks, then you had, you know, your slower tracks like So I, and I think So I again was a great track as well, you know, a great tribute to Sophie. And I feel like on this album, even with the sound of the album being so ravey in a way, but still some of the lyrics you could tell it's just like they are pretty sad, to be honest. And it's interesting like juxtaposition to see how it is, how she's pretty candid with her lyrics, but in a way the beat is kind of making you feel a different way. I feel like that last track as well, 365, was a good way to kind of close the album, you know, even at the same beat as 360, but, you know, kind of just talking, you know, kind of the Brat aesthetic, and then just even like the very end, how the production changes of the track, just to kind of close out the album. And I think, you know, this is an album that I'm going to be able to, I'll be listening to a lot throughout the year and even after to come. And I think, you know, Charli delivered at the end of the day with the whole big Brat rollout, you know, the big green Brat wall that was painted, all the boiler room sets, all the raves and everything that she's been doing in America, in the UK, etc. I think she did live up to it, because, you know, I feel like being the first album on the new contracts, I guess there probably is pressure going into it, but I think that she definitely did deliver with this album. And, you know, I feel like Charli, she is ahead of the pack in terms of the industry, and she always is really, you know, with her sound. And we will probably see quite a lot of artists in the future trying to recreate, take bits kind of from this. But, you know, I guess how she says in, what track is it now, where she says, I'm your favorite reference baby. I guess that's how she is. And I think that's what, in a way, she's underappreciated for, because people should give her flowers, you know, for the music that she's made throughout her career, and how she's always so consistent with her albums and the quality of music. And I think this album again has just continued that narrative really, and I hope this album can take her, you know, to the next level of popularity. And yeah, I think it's a great album. That is it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below any other albums or songs, artists that you want me to react to. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Nigel, and I'll see you next time.